Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So we've got some new interesting leaks about the next Battlefield game. We've got news about fighter jets. We've got news about the weapons that are going to be in the game, probably. And we also have some news about some of the older maps from previous Battlefield titles that might actually make their way to the next game. So all this information was basically data mined by Temporyal from the playtest client of the next Battlefield game, from Battlefield Labs, basically. These might change over time. Maybe we've got some things in the client that we don't get in the main game, but you know, leaks like this are most of the times legit because it's less likely for weapons to be in the playtest, for jets to be in the playtest and not finally make their way to the main game. So with all that said, shout out to Temporyal for doing his great stuff. These leaks actually keep the community going, and it's really better than nothing when EA and the studios are trying to stay silent about the next game, given the fact that we are getting closer and closer to its release date. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got here. We're going to start with the maps and then weapons, and then we're going to go to the fighter jets, see what we've got. So for the maps, Temporyal says there are minimap data entries called telemarket and propaganda in the Battlefield playtest files. Not much else to go by. Are they really going to? So based on this, we're gonna get telemarket and propaganda back. So if you guys don't know, Telemarket was a Battlefield 3 map and it was added to the game with the Aftermath expansion. Also, Propaganda was a Battlefield 4 map. It was really a great map. Both maps were great, let's be honest. Both Telemarket and Propaganda were great maps. I have lots of memories there. And honestly, if they're going to do something like this, that will be just great. Now, both of these maps are kind of close quarter maps. I'm guessing they are going to focus more on CQB. And 2042 kind of feels lacking in that department. It feels lacking in so many departments, but because we're talking about CQB maps, well, 2042 is also lacking even in that department. So that's with the maps, but we've got some interesting leaks about the weapons because here we have some secondary weapons and some primary weapons as well. Let's go ahead and start with the assault rifles. We've got some interesting stuff here. We've got the 6P67 Cord, which is the latest finalized version of the AEK 971. You guys probably know it. I've made videos about the weapons we want in the next game, and this was one of those weapons. We've got the Ace-32, G36, G3A4, which is probably a modernized version of the G3, the HK433. We've got the L85A3, a weapon you guys probably know. I used to play it in Battlefield 4. Wasn't my favorite weapon, but it was definitely a decent weapon, to be honest. We've got the Scar L. Now, L stands for light, whereas in Scar H stands for heavy. So Scar H uses 762, whereas the Scar L, which is the lighter version, uses the 556. And we also have the Tavor 7, which is a heavier, more powerful version of the Tavor X95. It's chambered in 762, and that's about the assault rifles. But now let's take a look at the carbines. We've got the AK-205, which is probably a shortened version of the AK-12, something like that. We've got the HK417A2, which is, in my opinion, somewhat odd to be putting this weapon in the carbine list because it really isn't a carbine. This weapon is basically a battle rifle. So for example, the Scar H is also a battle rifle. Now, what this weapon is doing in the carbine list is something I don't know, maybe by mistake, or I don't know, but it shouldn't be here. It really shouldn't be. We've got the M4A1, which was something obvious. We knew it from that first 10-second gameplay. We've got the MSBS Grad B, which is a bullpup weapon. We've got the QBZ-192. We've also got the Scar SC, which is a really interesting option, if you ask me. This weapon is a shorter weapon from Scar family, and it's chambered in 300 Blackout, which is just cool and badass, to be honest. We've got the SG553R, and finally the XM7, which is the equivalent for M5A3 in Battlefield 2042. This weapon is basically the US Army version of the 6-hour MCX Spear. Moving on to SMGs, we've got the APC-10, which is the AC-9 in Battlefield 2042. We've got the MP5 MLI, MP7A2, MPX, P90, UMP40, and Crisp Vector. Perfect options for PDWs. Taking a look at the LMGs, we've got the M240L, which is a lighter variant of the M240. It's made for infantry, basically, and it's not one of those chunky weapons that you guys probably see every day in a game like 2042. That weapon feels like a monster when you hold it. We've got the M27 IAR, we've got the M249, we've got the M60E6, which is even a more modernized version compared to one we've got in 2042. We've got the MG4 RPKM, the Ultimax 100, which was something new to myself. You're gonna see a picture for it right now. And finally, the XM250, which is again the newly adopted US Army light machine gun. For bolt actions, we've got the M2010 Enhanced Sniper Rifle, also known as the ESR. We've got the Barrett MRAD, which is also known as the Barrett M98B in Battlefield games. And finally, the SV98M, which is just great news for people who play Battlefield. They just bring back a lot of memories. For DMRs, we've got the M39 EMR. You guys all know it probably. We've got the SVCH, which is the same weapon as the SVK in Battlefield 2042. The OP DMR, you guys probably know. And the SVDM, which is a modernized version of the old SVD DMR. For shotguns, they've got the 18.5 KSK, the 590A1, the KSG12, and finally the M1014. And for secondary weapons, we've got the 5.7 MK3, G22, M18, M327 TRR8, M45A1, and finally we've got the Raging Hunter. I have no idea what that means, but given the fact that it has a hunter in its name, I'm guessing for some sort of revolver, probably a Magnum 44, maybe not. I'm just guessing, you know. But yeah, that's about it. Now combined, we have 47 weapons here, and this is, I would say, pretty much close to what Tom Henderson said we would have, and that was 45 weapons. So we've got 2 more weapons here, pretty much close to that leak. Things are falling into place, you know. The puzzle is starting to take shape right now, and all these information that we once had are starting to fall in place. Things are looking legit in my opinion. And also, we know Temporyal for like legit information, so no worries there. And that was all about weapons, guys. Let's take a look at the fighter and attack jets that we have by Temporyal. So for fighter role, we've got the F-22 Raptor and the Su-57 Felon. So these, in my opinion, are perfect choices, both 5th generation. We've also got the loadout options of the F-22, which is set to be incomplete here, but nevertheless, we're gonna take a look at that as well. The primary weapon is the M61 Vulcan 20mm. The secondary weapon is the AIM-9X Sidewinder, which is the kind of missile that most of the guys just a little bit into aircrafts probably know of. For equipment 1, we've got the flares, and for the equipment 2, we've got the JBU-39. These are guided bombs. So for attack role, we've got the F-16 and the Saab JAS-39, also known as the Gripen, both perfectly capable jets. We've also got the loadout options of the F-16, also set to be incomplete. The primary weapon is going to be the M61 Vulcan 20mm, same as the fighter jets. The secondary weapon is going to be Hydra 70HE or the AGM-65 Maverick. For equipment 1, we've got flares, and for equipment 2, we've got the MK82 Air. Based on the name, it's going to be an air-to-air missile. To be honest, I'm not really into jets and all those stuff. I know a little, I like them, but to be honest, playing them in Battlefield has never been my thing. If you guys know more about these equipment, do make sure to comment down below and spread some information, guys. That's going to be great. So with all that said, guys, that was everything we had from Temporyal. 2 old maps making their way back to the next Battlefield game, 47 weapons in total, and 4 fighter jets. Do make sure to go down in the comment section. Let me know what you think about the leaks. In my opinion, having these maps coming back to the game is just great news. I really miss propaganda, to be honest, and having 47 weapons at launch is good. You know, weapon variety has always been one of the top issues of 2042, and it still is, really. So going for more variety is going to be something crucial here. And about the fighter and attack jets, I don't really have anything to say. Honestly, as I said before, I'm not really into it when it comes to Battlefield. I'm more of a ground vehicle player instead of air vehicles. I'm just leaving this to those pilots, those who know what's going on. You guys make sure to go down in the comment section if you know about these fighter jets, and let me know what you think about it. And thank you all guys for watching, and until next time, guys, stay cool.